Oh, where'd it go?
Where'd what go?
God damn, I'm having a tough time here.
You always have a crisis with your equipment when we start.
My equipment is very screwed up right now, so I have no idea what's going on. I hear all kinds of, what do you call it, static and intermittent, and I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Anyway, so we have Austin.
We have Austin Sims joining us as well.
Oh, hey there.
Yep. And I got to figure out what the hell's going on here, because something's going on. What's going on? What's happening? Oh. Do I hear a kid?
Yeah, you sent me the link to the StreamYard studio right after I just got done publishing 2 new videos on my channel. So I said, let's go. I've got the energy.
Well, link those so people can look at them.
You just warm up, do you?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay.
Well, Chris Moore says the audio is okay.
Okay, but for me, it's intermittent. And it's because my iPad is trying to take over my fucking sound. I don't know what's going on.
It's not a baby. It's my cat, Robin.
Oh. Is that what it is? So anyway, about 10 years ago, I got really tired of mismatched socks. So I went to Sam's Club and I bought 500 pairs of the same kinds of socks. And then my son went to Sam's Club and bought like 100 pair. And so I'm still opening packages of socks today. So I always wear black socks with a green stripe. So the Mayo Clinic sent me these 2 really colorful, brilliant little surgical sock things. And I thought I'd try them on today. So I put them on. And my two cats that I've had for 12 years who have seen nothing but black socks fucking freaked out and just ran out of the room like at 100 miles an hour. They just couldn't stand seeing whatever was going on. It's like, we don't want any part of this shit. And then Snack came in and he thought, oh, I'm going to kill him. So he's been attacking my feet ever since. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, they're just socks. Yeah, that's a good case of your kids not letting you, do new things, right? That's what it is.
I assume we're going to get this done in under an hour because we're approaching the time of night where Mike stops caring about creationism. Usually around 8:30, 9:30-ish, he just it shuts down and just stops until the next day.
Now joining the panel is Dave from Captive Desk. If Mike would quit fitzing around with the
Hey, everybody.
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, you're sending this stuff at the last minute and everything, and then I click on it, and Facebook doesn't want to cooperate, and I had to restart it. And oh gosh,
yeah,
tomorrow's ready. Tomorrow's ready though.
Good. Who do we got for tomorrow? We got a real brilliant person of some kind.
Yeah, let's see. Sid. No, that's who he's replying to.
Okay, I got all my shit set up now.
I
think I'm good.
Go ahead.
So has anybody watched the little series that Gutsick Gibbon is doing with this flat Earth guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Will Duffy.
Yeah.
How,
Yeah, I
how
talked
is
to
that
him.
as a presentation? Is it really good?
Yeah, it's great. I talked to him via email a couple times and tried to get him to agree to an interview, but he's a very busy fellow. But he was very nice.
What in the hell?
Well, hopefully he won't hit the Teflon brick face like with the Bread of Life channel.
You know what?
I got really bad news, guys. I have to reboot. I'll be back in about a minute or so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't
between us, I think we
I don't know
could
what's going
maybe
on.
figure out 2 or 3 words to say.
I'll be back.
Okay.
He said during the stream that he was showing all the
The
lessons
stream will
he
stay
was
on
getting.
because Scott's on it. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we're fine.
Will
you guys
Duffy
hang out.
said, yeah, we get it.
Oh no.
Will Duffy said in his stream with Erica that he was not only getting the lessons, that he was going to show the lessons to his kids as well and teach them evolution as well, which is like just an absolute baller move. It's very based. So like even if he isn't convinced, I can bet at least one or more of his kids will be, because kids are more open-minded and they're less ossified and set in their ways. But he has expressed some interest in like theistic evolution type views of things. I think he's asked on the most recent one in the super chats, like, are you going to change your mind? And he said it's way too early for that still, which is fair. I think they have like 6 more presentations planned. Like Erica's giving him basically a whole semester of biology education.
Well, what's great is if he really does show it to his kids, you know he's not getting some bullshit creationist filtered version of evolution. And that's what's really good, because we all know Erica does a great job in her presentations. It's always balanced. She's able to be nice about it, unlike me. So plus
she has a very refined approach to it. She started off with the history of evolution and like taught about how Darwin didn't discover evolution himself. He discovered natural selection, that actually people were debating mutability of species versus immutability of species like for eons before Darwin. Like Aristotle was a species fixist, but there was other people in that time period who thought the species were mutable, like Anaximander. Anaximander had a theory, or just an idea of species mutability, at least. He thought that species were changing, and he based this on his belief that human infants are too fragile to survive in raw nature on their own. So he theorized that humans had to have come from some hardier, more primal species. And he even theorized that all life came from water, which he was way ahead of his time on that. But yeah, so she started off with that, which is a big thing that creationists don't learn. They don't learn that even before Darwin, people were debating whether or not species change. And Darwin pretty much settled the debate and said, yeah, they do, and made it so that basically any model that doesn't include any level of species fixity is obviously and inherently superior to any model that does include any level of species fixity, because nobody has ever shown any level of species fixity outside of just obvious physical limits, like our boy, the Hawaiian shirt kindergarten dropout, likes to say, you won't get a cow the size of Texas, will ya? So evolution's bullcrap, because that's what evolution says, right? It says you should get a cow as big as Texas, and you can't do it. So
he wants a cow with a jet engine born on its back.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Whatever is ridiculous.
That'll prove evolution to him.
Yeah, and another big part of the history of evolution that I think she managed to end up covering was just the fact, I actually made sure that she covered this by sending in super chats. Two things. The one super chat saying straight up, species fixity is dead. Nobody is proposing a model of complete species fixity and total immutability of species anymore. Even creationists don't do that anymore. They have a model that includes mutable species. They just don't think humans are one of those mutable species. In fact, it seems like humans are pretty much the only species they don't think is mutable, besides like the living fossil thing too. And then she also covered how one of the biggest changes that occurred in the history of evolution was it started off such that, we thought species mutability was possible. We thought maybe species could change because we saw things like mutations. We saw, offspring born with slightly longer legs or an extra toe or things like that. Albinism or melanism are very obvious and easy to spot mutations, but they couldn't see how these random mutations could add up to new features, novel traits, and entirely new body plans. So for a long time, it was debated until, of course, our boys Wallace and Darwin figured it out. The mutations part of evolution is random, but natural selection is not random. That the environment, just by being difficult to survive in, acts as a selecting force or agent, kind of like what a human does in artificial selection, because there's not enough for every offspring from every organism to survive. So it creates this struggle to exist, which he coined based on Malthusian economics. Yeah, no, she's done a great job so far. I think she's really killed it.
Chris, I wanted to respond to Chris Moore. He said, is Rebecca slowly changing her ways, or are y'all just playing? I don't know what I might have said to indicate that Rebecca is changing her ways. She's getting worse. She's entrenching herself into this tu quoque fallacy existence of hers, where she's trying to basically say, yeah, we're being religious, but you are too.
Yeah.
It seems to be her rationale. So I don't know. I'm sorry if I gave you the impression. I'm tired. I've been wrestling with all three of my grandkids all day, literally and metaphorically. And so I may be a little tired and just misspeaking things. But no, she seems to be getting entrenched in her position really badly. I mean,
See,
irrational and I'll just say irrational. Just
I really want to like Rebecca because I know she's a decent person, despite her kind of
she's not.
beliefs.
No, she's not.
She's not. She has told me
she has got you fooled.
Oh God!
Trust me. Trust me.
She has told me that she's like against violence against women. She's against violence against
the few things that she supports, like gay folks and stuff.
Yeah.
Forget it. It doesn't erase everything else. She's full of harm.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just a facade. She smiles and she says, "I love gay people," and
well,
everybody forgets about everything else.
I got that impression from her, and it's one of the reasons I like her, despite that she's a young Earth creationist. Another reason is that she does do talks. Like, she has interviews where, like, evolutionary biologists like Dr. Dan and Dr. Zack Snyder.
She's had me on. She's had Mike on. She's had everybody. She'll be real nice and stuff. She's like Sal.
Yeah.
She's all too happy to paint a smile on, but you don't know what she says as soon as that camera goes off. She's like, F those guys.
Well, no,
I'm right. The whole world is wrong.
What I was going to say was I have observed that when, like, she talks to, like, evolutionary biologists or people who accept evolution, like, her level of skepticism is very high. She's got lots of questions, and they're usually really pointed questions. And then when she has like an equal number, if not more, creationists come on her channel and give her their spiels too, and she's aggressively credulous to everything they say, just like instant agreement.
She's like any other creationist. She repeats the same thing over and over and over. And no matter how many hours somebody spends explaining something to her, tomorrow she'll say the same exact thing and act like she hasn't been talked to at all. It's just because, she's nice. That's it. And if you're nice, people give you a pass and stuff, but she's full of crap.
that is one more thing. I'll give her one more little group hug before we just go on to busting on her, and I'll recede out of this polite persona and go back to treading her. She does seem to have a decent level of constitution. Like, she doesn't melt down like some people do.
She can.
She does sometimes, but she hasn't.
Give me a few minutes alone with her. James knows. I hear him laughing.
All right.
James knows.
That's all my compliments. We can move on to criticism.
Niceness only goes so far.
Yeah.
And you get the backlash.
And you could have heard a pin drop when David stopped and locked the door.
That's right.
Oh, nice. Oh, what the fuck?
Hey, she had me fooled too. I thought she was nice and stuff, but she's not. And she goes off. She may not do it on camera or whatever, but you get a private email from her, and it's not nice.
Yeah, there's something amiss with her, and I can't. It's hard to put my finger on, but it's just.
Well, going back with Sal. I mean, who thought she'd go back with Sal? And there she is, right back with Sal. So,
Mike, do you think it might be extreme confirmation bias? Because that is the sense that I get. Like, sometimes she genuinely is just ignoring things she's been told before, but other times genuinely she forgot them very shortly after hearing them, because the brain
she hears them every day. She hears them every day.
Fair enough.
Top dog was just emailing her.
Is a bitch, though, you guys. Like, confirmation bias it's rough. Like, people can hear the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't really get through to them if they have really bad confirmation bias.
Like I say, she's a solid creationist. Doesn't matter what anybody says, they're wrong. She said so. She says she doesn't care what the facts are. She goes with her gut. Things like this. She's in really deep. Yeah,
there's something. I'm going to play you a little clip from the beginning of her other video, but there is something amiss here, and I'm trying to get my mind around it. But I think I'll play this first, and you can just hear what she has to say to us. We're her, like, I don't know, a long time ago, I got in trouble with the IRS, and that was when the IRS really had teeth, when they really cared, Now they make you milk and cookies when you call them, but they used to try to kill you, and they did manage to kill a few people. So there was this woman who called herself the Queen of Carver County, who decided to meet with me and my lawyer. And where the hell was I going with this? Oh, God, I fucking lost my train of thought. The story is so good. Met with my lawyer for 15 minutes, and my lawyer called me into a private conference and says, do whatever she says.
I got my avatar changed for you there, Robin.
Oh, she used to call
my atheist of the month.
She used to call us 1099 people her little people. We were her little people. That's where I was going with it, right? The Queen of Carver County and her little people. And she was just like she was like that Cruella de Vil. I mean, she was like the female evil monster in every Disney movie, all rolled into one.
We had a teacher in high school that used to say, "Good morning, ladies and boys."
There you go.
Every day.
You're in trouble. But anyway, so she has this idea that we atheists are her little people, right? Mm-hmm. And she's just talking down her nose towards us, and it's just incredible, and it just keeps going on, and it could be an act, I mean, maybe it's part of her persona here. I don't know.
She must pull
Well, yeah, that
these
kind of stuff.
because she was done with science and then she dove right back into it again. So
Yeah,
it must pull
and that
views.
kind of stuff gets a lot more viewership on YouTube and social media.
Oh, it does.
Like it's no people aren't as interested in the stuff that's actually useful for some reason. It's really weird to me.
I know.
Evolution is wrong. Evolution is.
Whoops. I put out all
Jeez.
kinds of videos that I thought this is really worthwhile for somebody to watch because we really had some good things to say, and they had no traction at all. Rebecca here, she got 400 or 500 views on this thing she did the other night. So I mean, she's doing something right. Which
Well,
I'm
yeah,
not.
I mean, it's more outrageous, so it's more attention grabbing. If you do a video saying, "Hey, the sky is blue," sometimes it's gray, sometimes depending on the weather or the time of day, it can be a darker or lighter shade of blue. Sometimes some other colors. If you make a video saying the sky is tomato, I mean, people are gonna watch that just to hear the crazy stuff you think and have a giggle. Probably, it is more attention grabbing.
I don't want to talk about things that alienate people too much, but I was alive before we had an internet and before news papers and newsprint took over. And when you would go to the supermarket stand, and it may still be this way a lot, there were so many different versions of the National Enquirer or some similar tabloid.
Yeah.
That kind of claptrap really sells, and creationism is just no different than aliens. Bigfoot went on a date with my mother-in-law. Anything like that.
The Mothman snuck into my room and ate my ass. He was a very gentle lover.
Exactly. So this it's just following the same human condition, the same human propensity to seek out sensationalism, and just this narrow definition of I'm right, and and what's selling is, like I said before, is just some fancy packaged tu-coque fallacies. I mentioned the first one, the one about well, yeah, we're religious, but so are you. And then there's the one of evolution is just a story. It's just a story. I don't have any reason to believe it. The thing is, okay, you can call what we do in evolution studies as stories, but our stories are based on actual data. Christianity's stories, and this is what makes hers just a tu-coque fallacy, is our stories are based on other stories, which are based on other myths, which usually either come from Canaanite religion or maybe Hellenistic religions, or for sure some of the Babylonian religions, because there's so much of the Mesopotamian civilization's myths in the Old Testament and in the stories thereof. So even that's a tu-coque fallacy. She wants to feel respectable without having to admit that her creationism is just just mythological stories that you like to base your life on, which if you want to do that, fine. Just don't call it scientifically based. Don't call creationism a science. Don't try to legitimize your creationism by delegitimizing legitimate science.
This is like literally one of the videos I just made and published on my channels is partly about this. And in it, I say that I'd rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. And that's because in 34 years, I can say with absolute utmost confidence, honesty, clarity, integrity, that the two bar none uncontested best routes I know of to believing as many true and as few untrue things as possible is having logically and philosophically valid and sound ontology, epistemology, and axiology, and the scientific method. And that's especially true if you can back either of those things up with facts, statistics, math, percentages, data, repeatable observations, just the things that are generally known as empirical evidence. And I would say a decent third in line is just doing your best every day to understand better what it means to be wise and then to actually do those things, which is easier said than done. So if she wants to call my worldview a story or say that we have two stories that are competing, okay, but they're not equal. You know, like I have an actual methodology I'm using here. It's not algorithmic, it's pretty dang close, and it's a really good heuristic. You have a presupposed dogmatic conclusion that you can never even sincerely question, let alone discard, no matter how much evidence contradicts it, nor how well you're shown the evidence contradicts it. And truly, generally, when shown evidence that contradicts it, the reaction is not going to be to steel man that evidence and ask yourself, oh, wow, what if this is valid? The first thing they ask themselves is, well, what if that's wrong? That's got to be wrong somehow. We know creation is true, so we know that's wrong somehow. It's the presupposed dogmatic conclusion, and it's there that their epistemology falls apart completely. And so philosophically and logically, their story is a lot less worse than ours because of the different methods used to construct them. And the fact that their story can never change, no matter how many good reasons there are for it to, and our story will change with just good enough evidence.
Yep.
Sorry, a little rant there.
Yeah, I remember when Bill Nye had that debate with what was his name, Ken Ham, right?
Yeah.
And somebody asked, like, what could change your guys' mind? And Ken Ham said, nothing could change my mind. And Bill Nye said, evidence could change my mind. Yeah. And I think that really summarized the entire thing. Right there.
Yeah. Yep. Basically.
Yeah, the same thing with believing in God. If basically I've talked about a couple of different things that would change my mind about believing in God. I mean, just show me the goddamn evidence, you know, show me something that is something in my normal life that indicates that there's a God, and I'll listen. But I've never heard of anything. Like what? Yeah.
Like I have a piece of paper on my wall that has some words and numbers written on it. If somebody can get God to tell them what those words and numbers are, and they tell me, I might have some evidence to believe in God then.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between evidence and good evidence.
Right, yeah.
Anything is evidence. I mean, the back of my hand is evidence for something. But it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. It's good evidence that they lack. And that's what the problem is. I don't have any evidence, and humana. Well, yeah, you've got evidence. You've got the Bible. There's evidence. Is it good evidence?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's good evidence.
I can even think of what might be some good evidence for God possibly existing. Like if when you looked into the night sky, all the stars spell made by God in every language known to man. If when you looked into a bacteria under a microscope, all the little organelles and stuff spelled out made by God. If all of us were born with a made by God stamp on our forehead, you know, that'd be really, really good evidence. That would be evidence so good that it would almost be irrational to not believe in God in such a universe as that. But obviously that's not the universe we live in.
And then the atheist arguments would matter for something, that you're just denying things that are right in front of your face. Right. Well, that would be true. Yeah. But as of right now, no, you're not denying anything right in front of your face because it's not right in front of my face.
Yeah, if I had an eidetic experience of Jesus coming down and talking to me for a while, and maybe doing a small miracle or two just to vet himself, you know,
right? Like, or if he just leans in and he's like, "Here's how you solve the, you know, oh gosh, the Huygens interpretation or whatever." You know what I mean? Like that would be some good evidence.
he could turn my water into non-alcoholic wine for me. You know, basically, I'd go for that. That'd be great. Perfect.
He could predict some language that didn't exist yet and teach it to you, and then you years later this language emerges and you already know it. That would be some good. I can think of a lot. I'm creative enough to come up with things, but obviously we're never going to get something like this, which is why they usually then pivot to something like that. Like they say, oh, you're testing God. You're not supposed to test God. Like, okay, that's convenient.
Okay, so we want to help Rebecca with her humility problem. So first of all, I want to play this. If it'll play, we'll see.
Evolution is wrong. Evolution is false. And I know that's going to hurt some feelings. And I don't want to hurt any feelings, but we have to be honest about the science. And so tonight we're going to be talking about how we can rule out evolution by natural processes as an explanation for the existence of life. And
okay, stop.
Okay. So do you get what I mean by her little people?
Oh my she God. Slips in there. She slips right in there that by natural processes. Mm-hmm. So anything that she accepts from evolution, she'll just chalk it up to God did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and my immediate thought is, okay, Rebecca, what the heck do you mean by evolution is wrong? Do you mean allele concentrations in populations don't change over time? Obviously
any of those things
not,
just go to God.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So what the heck are you talking about when you say it's wrong? You need to be more specific than that.
Well, she does Ken Ham. She'll accept every mechanism of evolution and then say, but that's not evolution.
Yeah.
So there's no winning. You can get her to accept things happen, but they aren't part of evolution. So it's like arguing with Ken Ham. You might as well thump your head against the desk.
Yeah,
and hope for the best there.
What it seems like to me is the Mott and Bailey fallacy. Are you guys familiar with the Mott and Bailey?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
She very
it's sort of like a bait
doesn't
switch,
believe,
except you're just going against one thing real strongly, and then when you get feedback or pushback from it, you go, "Well, I just meant," and then you'll say something a little milder, a little.
Yes, exactly. Just like this right here. She says, evolution is false. Evolution's not true. It's not the answer. But if I was to ask her, well, what do you mean? Do you mean allele concentrations don't change over time? She'd go, well, no. That's starting off at the Mott with this big outrageous statement, evolution not true. And then retreating to the Bailey of, well, more complicated than that. Yeah.
She very simply doesn't believe that cats and dogs are related, that she thinks they were separate kinds. So that's part. And she talks about observational and historical science here, and it's there is no such thing. There is no such thing. And I've been over this over and over again. Any science you do is inference. You always infer to what happened in the past. Even if that past is the last hour in your test tube, you're still inferring, basically, when you create a model. So there's no difference between the inference that goes back 2 million years or 20 million years and one that goes back an hour. There is no different kind of science. You're looking for the best inductive explanation. So
yeah, and they do that to try and kind of imply like there's an ordinal gradient to these things, like observational science is better than historical science, when in reality, both are susceptible to almost the exact same list of weaknesses and strengths. Even like if you accept their distinction, which a lot of scientists wouldn't. Honestly, to me, it almost seems like historical science is better because you don't have to wait for the experiment to play out with historical science. It already happened. The data's already there. You just got to go collect it.
Not sure where I have it here. Is it
coding digital information in the cell? And that's very
here it
tonight. I got from Stephen Meyer's signature in the cell explanation for the existence of life. And everything I'm arguing tonight, I got from Stephen Meyer's signature in the cell, which is a really
Okay. So I've got, I think I'm pushing upward about maybe 3,500 books on science and probably about 600 on evolution and molecular biology. But Rebecca has the Bible and she has Stephen Meyer's signature in the cell. So I'm just going to like, oh man, I should listen to Rebecca and Stephen Meyer because all these other books, they're all religious.
Yeah, right.
But her books are like superior. So I'm just gonna like just discard everything I've learned in the last 20 some years about the, or actually the last 60
Now,
years.
what is Stephen Meyer's academic background?
He's a philosopher.
Yeah. So we're going to listen to
philosopher.
We're
Philosopher of
going to
science.
listen to Miss Extreme Sunday School teacher and a philosopher.
Correction, Austin. Correction. Not a philosopher, a philosopher. Philosopher. Yeah, a philosopher. They're people who don't even know how to do philosophy, basically. So that's Stephen Meyer in a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that I know already what his epistemology, ontology, axiology, and idea of the scientific is compared to mine, and I can confidently say mine's superior.
Yep. That's one of the books I have on my shelf, by the way. Signature itself. I should go drag it over here and see what the hell. I can't remember what kind of garbage he got. Oh, the flagellum and a whole bunch of other fucking, mousetrap kind of shit.
It's garbage.
Yep.
No mention of Gödel's incompleteness theorem.
So the other real important thing she talks about is this. Let me see here. Oh, where the fuck? God damn, that bookmark thing keeps popping in the way. I wish I wouldn't do that. I don't like it. 119. Here we go. I think this is it.
part of how did life originate by doing things in a lab. We have tried many times. So we could try to answer the question, can chemicals
I didn't want to go there. I want to go here first.
And encoding digital information in the cell.
Digital information.
And that's very comparable to what we do with computers when we have circuit boards and places that we can store information, coded information. And so that is comparable in life to the DNA helix. The DNA helix is a storage place. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to have information. It could store randomness. It could store like a random string of chemicals that didn't contain any information.
So, Mike, this right here is why your policy of ceasing to care about creationism beyond a certain point of the day is wise. Because I've heard this crap so much, my eyes start to glaze over the second somebody starts droning it out again.
Yep. Let's see here if I can. Okay, remove full screen layout. Okay, I want to go back to this.
What did she even say again? She's talking about
digital information.
Doesn't understand evolution or something.
Yeah, digital information is stored in the double helix and all that
information. Yeah.
So then they do you know who SFB mod is? He is
really familiar. Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember I forgot his name, damn it. Anyway, I almost feel bad dumping on the guy because him and his wife really stepped up and tried to help me after I lost my daughter. So, I mean, they're good people, right? But this guy is like the biggest bullshitter that I've ever encountered in my life. And he's got what am I looking for here? I got to turn my camera on. I've been going back and forth a little bit with him I got to get over here, Scott. You got to put me big. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. You probably can't see that very well, eh? Shit, do I got to go bigger? Let's go 300% too. Oh, now I gotta fucking. Anyway, where the hell is it?
Let them squint. Let everybody squint.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's worth the eye trouble.
I gotta move it over here so we can see it. But anyway, he says, I actually want you guys to hear this raw because I just spotted this. I couldn't fucking believe it. It's like, what? What the fuck did you just say? He worked for what the hell's Elon's star company? What is that named?
Starlink.
Well, was
Starlink,
it that one
yeah.
or was it Tesla? Is that what it's called?
Tesla is the automobile company. Starlink is his satellite company.
Yeah, but he had not Starlink, but the spaceship company. What the hell is that called?
Oh, SpaceX.
Yeah, okay, SpaceX. So this guy, he works for SpaceX, and I actually did a little research on what he did there, and it said something about Ethernet cables.
Yeah.
But
you know what? Like that's a very common thing I've experienced with creationists. One will say, "Oh, I'm a geologist," and then I look her up, and nope, not a geologist at all. No degree in geology, but she does have an Etsy shop where she sells pretty rocks and talks about Jesus. But she's embellishing that into being a geologist. Some guy says I'm an aerospace engineer. I look into him. Nope, he's not an aerospace engineer. He works in the marketing department at a vacuum company. We're exaggerating that into being an aerospace. So they what they do is they embellish to the point of lying. Like they take something that's like the slightest bit true and they like ratchet it up to 11. Like I met another guy who claimed he had literally the world's highest IQ and that he was a documentary filmmaker for the BBC. Nope, him and his wife make weird YouTube videos of him ranting about going to hell during a near-death experience, and he's never produced anything for the BBC. He's never had and I finally find out what it is. He met somebody from the BBC once. That's it. I'm like, oh my god.
Yep. Oh.
Yeah, so anytime a creationist claims they have these kind of pedigrees now, I'm like instantly suspicious because so many of them have turned out to be fake or embellishments to the point of lying.
Well, yeah, that what's forensic scientist she's supposed to be that's working for Ken Ham. She doesn't have a forensics degree, but she's touted as a forensics expert.
Right.
It's like, where they get this from? And I don't know who was looking into her.
It sounds better than read a book on forensics once. Trust me, bro.
That's about all she did.
Yeah.
She taught some kind of science class or something, and it's just a joke the way they elevate him up to being an expert on something. Go ahead,
one of the worst ones is when like they don't even try to pretend like they have a pedigree themselves. They pretend somebody in their orbit has a pedigree, like that American.
I know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah. Who claims he's talking to nothing but geneticists at his nightclub job as a DJ. What fucking club are you hanging out at, dude? It must be the most boring club in existence.
Right. Okay.
They call it the lab bench.
I keep losing it here. Okay, he says, this is what SNBMA said. My old boss, Elon and I used to discuss the simulation universe theory. He loved that my second undergrad was in simulation programming. I could not verify that undergrad in simulation theory programming was fun, but we all concluded that every simulation always requires the program. So he's claiming that he talked to Elon when he worked at Starlink or whatever the company was. Not Starlink, the other one.
Yeah, you want to talk about fake scientific pedigrees? Let's talk about Elon Musk.
Right. Well, even, I mean, do you believe that Elon Musk actually talked to this guy? I mean, if you listen to this guy,
Yeah.
he gives you the impression, he gives you this, God, this bullshit. I mean, he drops all kinds of names and claims about all the great things he's done. And I looked into it, and I couldn't find anything other than that he works for an accounting firm as
Maybe
some kind of
Elon
programmer.
Is he
responded to a like maybe the guy commented on a blog post that Elon made.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And with
Yeah,
like one of those
something like
thumbs
that.
ups.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about this, and he thought,
Yeah.
he thought I had a great idea.
He watched a TV show and he imagined they had this conversation. So close enough. Yeah.
So then
Uh,
he loves to quote Einstein.
Do
But
you?
then
Do
there's
you
this
think?
other.
Sorry, Mike.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, there's this other part where he says, "What the hell? It's simply modern science. This is to me, it's simply modern science that goes against the evolution religious cult dogma. So your church cult clergy you appeal to won't allow you to know about it. Okay, they won't let me know about it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to try to impress your church cult congregation religiously or emotionally as you projected. I understand amateur coders stuck using Ruby on Rails. Okay, he knows I'm a Rails programmer. Okay, so I mean, like, as near as I can tell, this guy is a script kiddie, and he may have done some Java, but he thinks that Ruby is for amateurs. Anybody who's done Ruby knows that it's not an amateur platform. Anyway, so he's got to throw that out at me. Can't discuss the machine learning used to study and learn from embedded in biotechnology. Just blah, blah, blah bullshit.
I love this
But
conspiracy theory that evolution is some kind of secret satanic paganist religion, and that the dogmatists are. When am I going to get my visit from the Illuminati, bro?
When do I
I'm
get my
waiting.
check?
Yeah,
I want my check.
like,
Forget all that.
is it when I get my bachelor's? Is it at the beginning of graduate school? Is it at the end of graduate school when they're handing you your master's degree or your
Give me my
PhD?
money.
Yeah, like
Put that paper away.
when is it? When do the dogmatists? When can I expect them? You know, I need some Illuminati friends over here. Maybe they'll play Magic the Gathering with me or something. Because I can't find anybody to play Magic with.
Your church cult clergy won't let you know about it. It's like, how do they do that exactly? Do they hold me over, or do they roast me on a spit over a hot flame and force the knowledge out of me?
They silenced all the brave creationist scientists, Mike, is what it is. They're silencing them and keeping them from publishing because their papers, it's not that their papers have horrible methods and terrible, conclusions. It's just that, we're biased against their worldview. And so the peer review process is biased, even though during the peer review process, all of the peer reviewers are blind, so they don't know who wrote anything that they're peer reviewing. So it can't be that literally, but not that anybody who has a conspiracy like this bothers to learn enough about the peer review process to know that this accusation makes literally no flipping sense. But
so he wrote something back here, and to be fair, I did say something a little bit nasty to him. I said, that's nice. He's got this whole thing where he drops a whole bunch of fucking computer science terms, right? Starts talking about the kernel of the DNA and all this shit. So I said, that's nice. I said to me, Mod, you may be able to impress a liberal arts student that you met in a bar with that drivel. Not going to impress a molecular biologist or a computer professional. Case in point, he mentioned a universal information kernel computer code set. And I said, what the fuck is that? Do you tell?
That sounds like one of those bad acronyms from science fiction where they really torture. Yeah. Ugh.
Universal information
kernel having some giant crab robot and you name it carcinized robotic automaton battlebot so that it spells crab with its name,
Well, it's like Eucharist. Oh, Eucharist. Maybe that's where he's going.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not
Some
sure.
dribble,
Anyway.
gibberish.
Oh, but
dribble.
this guy,
Do you
this guy
think?
is just fucking hilarious.
Do you think, Mike, that he's just like a chronic bullshitter, or do you think he's like one of those people that's like straight up a pathological liar? Like they will say lies that they know are lies, and that they know that you know that they're lies, and they say them anyways just because they get off on lying.
He's a pathological bullshitter, is what he is.
All right,
Wire
he's
bullshitter,
somewhere in the
pathological
middle,
bullshitter,
yeah.
right? So yeah,
You know what?
And-
With
and-
those kinds of
and it's-
people, I think it's more fun to not even question their bullshit, but to actually like feed their confidence, pretend like you buy it. Give them fun prompts that lead the lies in directions like that you would like to go. These people are your own, create your own adventure story. Like honestly.
Yeah.
And if you challenge them, they just like lean forward and get more and more aggressive, like they're daring you to call them on their crazy, insane lies.
It's crazy.
It's more fun to just feed their confidence, and the lies get more and more creative and extravagant.
Human
I bet
code.
if you played your cards right, you could get this guy to say that he and Elon Musk wrestled each other. And he tapped Elon Musk out, no problem. And Elon Musk said he was the manliest guy he ever wrestled. You know, I'm sure.
Doesn't that sound like our president? It sounds like our
It does.
president.
Yes.
Yeah, same thing. But it's really weird, and his wife will stand behind him and listen to all this bullshit. And I know it's bullshit because I did a little investigation.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. But one time his wife actually got on him and yelled at him for something. I think he was abusing somebody or something, but that was pretty interesting. But anyway, like I said, they're good people. They tried to help me, but Jesus Christ, this guy is so hard to take because he's so full of fucking word salad. He's going on about all this programming stuff, pre-engineered, pre-designed code, you know, and he doesn't know shit about. I've caught him in a couple of like him and John Maddox both claim to be programmers, and I've caught him in a couple of ridiculous. I think he called Ruby on Rails a programming language. I think that was SFB mod, and it's actually a platform in a programming language called Ruby. So it little things like that where you know they're bullshitting you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you would catch that in an interview right away. So kind of crazy. Anyway,
yeah,
so much fun.
I have realized that one question that you can ask almost any creationist who's going to try and make an argument with you about genetics and genomic similarity between organisms, just ask them what the first three things you have to count when you make a genomic comparison are, and you'll get 99% of the time, because they don't look up the basics. They just get what apologia they can get from the experts, you know.
Well, that takes you back to James Goodell's unfinished theorem or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you call somebody out on their math, they have a fit, and that tells you all you need to know. That Sal may have took a lot of math classes, but didn't pay any attention in any of them.
Right.
Oh no, I did something wrong.
By the way, the answer, if you want to know, the first three things you have to count when you do a genomic comparison. The first thing you got to count the number of chromosomes. The second thing you got to count the entire total number of base pairs in the genome. And then the third thing you got to count is the number of total introns and exons. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it, but people who haven't studied it at all won't even be able to figure it out from context clues.
People that don't look at the weather don't know that it's going to be miserable first week of the year.
Right.
Have you seen it lately? It's pretty cold.
Yeah.
It is.
Look out.
We had a record low yesterday. It was what the hell it was, or the day before, 13 below.
Yeah.
So it was a record low
Yeah.
for December, and we have had the warmest fall I think we've ever had. And then all
Ours
of a
has
sudden
been
now
decent.
we're setting record lows.
Till recently, yeah, it's gotten cold and got some snow on the ground.
Can you put
really weird?
Can you put Andrew Cummings' last comment on screen here real quick?
Sure.
Right, dude. Right.
Yeah. They are a lot. Yeah.
And it's so, and I think it is just like, it's like something, there is a name for this kind of bias. This is a bias that occurs in science. I think it's
If you
called
have
like
a hammer,
specialist
everything
bias.
looks like a nail.
That's what it is. It's called specialist bias. It's like if you take a patient who's ill and you take him to the oncology department, they're going to think he has cancer. If you take him to the radiology department, they're going to think he needs to get x-rayed. You know, they think in terms of what they are experts in. So coders and engineers who code and build things, of course they think the universe is coded or built, because that is what that's their viewpoint, that's their lens.
I just heard a show talking about we have an overabundance of coders and engineers and everything. And we forgot somewhere along the way, everybody said, you're not going to do those jobs of your father. And it's like, well, that's great. Who wants to work in a factory, right? But what they're forgetting is the engineers and the software coders and everything, they write the programs for the machines. They don't turn them on.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got all these codes and all these programs written and nobody to turn on the machines. I was like, got a point. So now they're going back to, in high school, not telling the kids, hey, you don't want that job of your father. They're telling people, look, we need decoders, but we also need somebody to turn on the machine, and you need a trade school for that. So there's good money to be made out there. We just don't have the workforce for it. Very interesting.
And with automation, more of those jobs are going to disappear. And it is like one of the most messed up things about the modern condition to me, that our reaction to that as a society is, oh my God, a robot's going to take my job. Now I'm going to be poor and homeless, instead of, oh my God, a robot's going to go take my job. I can go enjoy life and do what I want to do instead of having to work grinding some pump for some capitalist. Ugh.
Yeah.
You just need to remember, you need to turn on the machine.
Yeah. and
people look at this machine, they literally, they don't know how to turn it on.
You need to be able to gauge the value of human potential beyond just profit, you know? It should be a good thing. It should be a good thing that these factotum type jobs are being taken over by automatons, so that more people can devote their minds to higher learning, to philosophy, to art and math and music, and all the things that make life enjoyable, that have improved human existence. Instead of having to be just another factotum grinding away at a pump, they could be somebody who makes the next big breakthrough. But we don't think about it in terms of that. Our whole society is engineered around capitalism, so all anybody is thinking about is profit, how to, increase the margins. And it's like, you can't eat money. You can't save the planet with money. I guess you can get some things done that help the planet with money, but you can't figure out how to save the planet with just money. You have to invest some time in thinking and wisdom and science, Good
night. Good night, James.
Good night, James.
Yeah.
See you, James.
Heading out, Anyway, Andrew, you should come in. I pinned the link. But I was trying to figure out this information business, right? And like they're misusing it in so many different ways. Like they think it's program code, but when you start to try to figure out what it really does, it really doesn't work very well at all as program code. So you go through this, like, okay, what she was saying is that, well, it could have just been random chemicals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be non-conserved DNA, which would be junk DNA, right? Could have been all junk. So what she meant is that part of the DNA does something, that the sequence is important. So the place where the sequence is important, the primary one, is in making proteins. So then, okay, so yeah, that is information. So that protein is encoded in the DNA, basically, and the protein codes for it. And then we can so we can look at basically how that happens. But the DNA does not tell you how to build an organism. There's no map. There's no way to map like you could a programming language. Like in a programming language, you have a print statement, you tell it what to print, right? There's nothing in DNA that tells you to print a leg or a limb. You could never find that anywhere in the genome. It would just look like junk to you. But it does create a protein and then another protein, and in fact, about 20,000 of them. You know, in your average cell, you probably have about 5,000 proteins that are actively doing something in the cell. And it prints all of those things. And then those things actually go to work and allow you to get the information. So basically, the DNA creates the thing that reads the DNA. And Rebecca calls this the chicken and egg problem. But there isn't really a chicken and an egg problem for reasons that I can explain. But so anyway,
you know what it
so
reminds
you've got,
me of? You know what it reminds me of, Mike? Chemistry. Imagine that.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know, if you got a rock, you know, and it rolls down a hill, and all of a sudden it diverts to the right, there's something it collided into, right? So the thing that it collided into that made it divert to the right, if it happens to hit your head when it diverts to the right, you could call the thing it collided with information. So you could call the shape of the hill information. And so information is everywhere in our universe, which is precisely where the atoms are located in space and time, and you know how they're moving and accelerating and that sort of thing. So I mean, there's information all over the place, and DNA is that kind of information. But when you
I think in a way, it's both that is true, and simultaneously it's true that there's no information, and information is just something we're projecting onto the universe. It helps us understand things to call something information, but it's not like you can't get a cup of information. You can't, like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there's, my diagram is small, but anyway, so that information, first of all, creates mRNA. And some of those mRNAs do something all by themselves. They become small nucleolar RNAs or microRNAs or whatever, and they will go out and they will do something in the cell, right? They'll have some effect on things. But a lot of the mRNA, basically, the introns are spliced out, and it becomes cRNA becomes mRNA, and it gets exported from the nucleus, and then it forms a protein, right? And so, but when it does that, sometimes it doesn't matter exactly what the sequence is. So there's a little bit of fuzziness right here at this point in the diagram where it goes down to the protein. There's a little bit of fuzziness there, right? And what you'll find is there's fuzziness everywhere all throughout this entire thing. But then it goes to the protein, and then the protein presumably does something in the cell, and that's what they're looking for. So it does something. But what it does is not create a limb. That's not what it does. It does something far more complicated and mystical than that. So it does something. One thing that proteins do is they will glom onto another protein, and then it'll cause that to twist and conform, and it'll glom onto another protein, and that will do something. And down along the chain, eventually, it will kind of do something that you might consider function or important. So it's very hard to figure out exactly where the function is in this whole setup. And if you look at cells, they're just complex as fuck. For one thing, the chicken and the egg problem. I asked Rebecca a question in comments, and nobody responded because nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about. So if there's a chicken and egg problem, when the zygote gets, the egg gets fertilized and you have a zygote, you got a single cell, right? So that single cell hasn't done anything yet, basically. So how does that single cell decode its own DNA? And the answer to that chicken and egg riddle is the mama cell, basically the mama DNA, is what creates the ribosomes in the zygote, and in fact creates a lot of things in the zygote for the first week of development. And eventually the cell's own DNA takes over. But now its DNA is going to be very slightly different than the mama DNA. And then if you go back to the mama, well, we got the grandma DNA, right? Which was very slightly different. And it goes all the way back down the line. So her chicken and the egg problem, the answer to the chicken and the egg problem is both came first. They both developed at the same time, one step after another, from whatever you can imagine a chicken and egg developing from. That's the part they don't believe. So that's one little mystery solved. But then when you have cells, you've got this these chromatin arrangement inside the nucleus, right? And there's some sort of regulation where it will produce a certain amount of proteins that are going to end up in that cell. And those proteins are going to end up going into the membrane, some of them, like right here. And they're going to create channels, and other cells are going to communicate with this cell. And the environment's going to communicate with this cell. Light will communicate with this cell, certain smells and whatever. And so all that information goes into the cell. It ends up modifying the nucleus, changing the proteins that are put out, which goes ahead and ends up doing something else here. And there's always a big, long chain of events happening. And that chain of events goes back through your mother, through your grandma, through your great-grandma, all the way back to something that we don't know a lot about yet. So anyway, but I've been trying to diagram this whole fucking informational system, and what it looks like is a plate of spaghetti when you try to diagram it. Now, that to me is not good design. That's poor design, I think. Anyway. Now I talk technical, so everybody's going to quit.
We're
Everybody
listening.
quit talking now.
We're listening.
How you doing, Dave? How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing all right. A little tired, but
Yeah, but the chemo isn't kicking your ass too bad?
well, it's enough.
Enough.
I've never been so tired in all my life.
How much do you have left? How many?
I don't know.
When are you done? When are you done with the round?
I wrote it down how many times I go, and I forget. It's about. I'll go next Friday.
Okay.
I'll ask again if I can't find it. I know I wrote it down somewhere how many treatments I get.
Yeah.
The chemo was just the 1 week, or the radiation was just the 1 week.
Yep. Yeah, the chemo tends to draw out for a little while.
Yeah, the chemo is.
But you sound pretty good.
The only thing I have is I'm tired all the time and I have no taste. So everything tastes like
your taste.
bleh. Yeah, I lost my taste. I didn't lose my smell. I didn't lose my appetite, but I lost my taste. Everything tastes like bleh.
Wow.
So that
lost
really
my
sucks.
smell.
You need to go visit every relative whose cooking you hate so bad you never go see them.
Yeah.
Well, it blows
but not my
because
taste.
even stuff I enjoy, I don't like. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's the sad thing.
it's no matter. And then thinking about stuff is like makes my stomach growl and everything. And then I think, yeah, but I don't want to bite because, like they said, don't go trying to eat your favorite meals or anything, or you're going to get a bad taste in your mouth. Literally. So there'll come a day when you won't want such a thing because it reminds you of the bad taste. So I just been sampling around it. For the most part, it seems like really cold things seem to be tolerable. And that links back to the only thing that works for everybody is using Ambisol or something like that. Put it in your mouth and just numb your mouth and just eat something just for the sake of the vitamins,
Yeah.
and just wait. So all they can tell you is, sorry. If it bothers you, it bothers you, and there's not much you can do about it. So
can you taste salt and stuff? Salty?
I can taste stuff. It just tastes terrible.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Tastes terrible. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what, I take a bite.
What does that?
I don't know. It's telling your brain that it's awful, but the stomach and stuff wants it. It's telling you, just go to the, menu board and order one of each thing and just smash it all together and put it in your face. But you don't. But as soon as you have a bite, ugh.
Have you tried some cannabis gummies?
Tried some gummies. They don't do any good.
Hey, Robert.
Tried.
Hello, gentlemen. How's it going?
Hey, Robert.
Going good.
Tried the mouthwash with the baking soda.
With you, Robert.
So everybody seems to recommend, and it doesn't seem to do much. Dry mouth mouthwashes, they don't do anything. Nothing will trigger those taste buds. They're just, and the way I understand it is, it's targeting your taste buds, because your taste buds are one of the things that show up all the time. They renew themselves just over a week. You have new taste buds. So it's saying, oh, there's something bad. It's trying to renew itself. And it either hits the nerve or the cell, whichever regenerates itself. And that's why people who take, and it's just not chemo, all kinds of things, through diabetes, through all kinds of things, your mouth system and your breathing system and everything is part of your filtration system. So anything that isn't good in your body is going to show up as not good in your mouth or your nose or etc. So, like you said, Mike, you didn't lose your taste, but you lost your smell. And, that's one of those things that says, I don't like my smell, and it turns it off. And it's really weird. So
I just throw a whole bunch of salt on it and it tastes good. Yeah. Go ahead, Robert.
What are they trying to do? Are they trying to shrink something and then remove it, or what's the overall goal?
Well, they found a tumor on the back of my head, and they rushed me to surgery, because basically it was, dude, you're not going to live much longer. I got the serious look and everything. Let's go right now. So I ended up going to surgery right then and there and had my head cut open. And they took out the tumor. No problem. It was right on the back of my head, on the outside. Didn't have to dig, nothing. But to be sure that it won't come back, or there isn't anything else coming back. And because they found this thing floating around my body, I am considered to have cancer. So they are zotting me all over the place just to ensure any further growth or speed of growth. And so they call me basically an MRI patient. They did the damage, and they did the or they're doing the post things, besides the chemo, what did I say earlier? Radiation. They did the radiation, and now they're doing the chemo as a matter of, I want to get the roots. I want to be the doctor was comparing it to being a gardener. You pull the plant out, but you want to make sure you get the roots. So you dig all the dirt around, and everything. So that's basically what they're doing. Is they didn't really find it. Mostly I didn't have any problems until September. And I felt dizzy. And that's when I knew something was wrong. It wasn't just a stiff neck or just, whatever. I got dizzy. And when I got dizzy is when I went to the doctor. Prior to that, the only thing I really thought was wrong was a stiff neck, and just from overdoing it. But when this doctor saw this thing on the MRI or the CAT scan or whatever he did, the first one he did, he pulled me aside. He said, David, he said Dave. This is why I knew I was in trouble. He's calling me Dave. He wasn't calling me Mr. Mr. or using David, or it was Dave. And it's like, you can sign yourself out and go home right now, but you probably won't come back. And he didn't mean that in a good way. And the main thing was that I was lucky that they found it. I could have been one of those folks that just dropped over. So really, there was no forewarning other than I was, but it felt stiff because I would turn my neck and it was all stiff, and everything. Well, here it was because it was on the back of my head and it was pushing on my brain stem, and it made everything feel real stiff, even though I wasn't really stiff. But if somebody would just said, you're stiff, take 2 aspirin, go to therapy, you know what I mean? And not looked, they wouldn't have found the thing on the back of my head either. So that's basically it. They found a thing on the back of my head that traveled around my bloodstream and ended up on my brain. And there's nothing I could do about that. They did easily operate on me, and they are doing the chemos and everything real easy on me. It's just a matter of, are they going to do any good or not? So that's why they call us MRI patients. Is every 3 months we get an MRI, and it lets you know, is chemo doing anything? So in another month or 2, I go for my first MRI checkup, and they'll let me know if it did anything or not, because they really don't know. They can't look at you or test you or anything. You know what I mean? They already know you're sick, but are you getting better or worse? And they don't know that unless you actually, take a header or something like that. Otherwise, all they can do is wait for the MRIs. So if things show up on my MRI, then I'm in bad shape. If things don't show up on my MRI, then they'll say, see you at the next MRI.
Have they talked about this immunotherapy types, that there are different cancer types that respond to immunotherapy?
Somehow I'm getting immunotherapy, I believe. Okay. I think it's how they bring up one of the things to it's what do you call it? Doctor heal thyself or something. It's when you can use things in your own body to like you've always done. Like I told my wife, you've been fighting cancer since you were born. Every time there's a bad cell somewhere, your body just says, it gets rid of it. And that's basically immunotherapy, is when your body forgets how to attack these things itself. And they're trying to really push this. It's real big lately. There's also a lot of other ones. There's heat, there's cold, radiation, chemos, all different kind of chemos now. So you've got, depending on what you have and how they want to attack it, and they're not, for most things, they're not hitting your whole body anymore either. So that's why a lot of folks can go get their treatments, and then they go on about to work and go about their day, and they're just fine. Of course, depends what you have. And my biggest thing is just that every once in a while I feel really stupid, like when I couldn't write a cursive letter the one day, and I was just really mad at myself. And it's like, is this one of the signs that, I'm heading downhill all the time? Yeah, or can I just not write this cursive letter? Well, I figured it out eventually, but, it's irritating.
There was one that I couldn't do. I think it was a capital F. I forgot how to do it because I've gotten used to writing in cursive.
It's just old age, man. There's nothing you can do for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Mostly,
what the hell? It's like,
I check myself. 3317 Anderson Parkway is where I grew up. It's burned in my brain apparently. The phone number there is 419-474-2755.
Not sure I would take that for a cognitive test, though, Dave. There's a lot of things that, like, people who have greatly declined, that they have specific things. So it's great that you remember that, but I'm not sure I would take that as a self-declared kind of.
I just try to check myself.
Yeah.
Song lyrics. I know they're another one that get burned in your brain, but
Yeah.
you know, I try to remember things, and I say, oh, I seem to remember anything. So I haven't forgotten anything, at least. So who knows? That was one of the big things of getting off drugs, because I didn't know if I was that stupid or if my brain was that toast. Well, getting off all the drugs, as long as I don't try to think too fast, which again, I'm an old guy, I don't have any issues. So I try to check myself. And, you know, they always ask you at the hospital, you know, questions and stuff, see if you're thinking too hard or anything. And the only thing I had a problem with when I was on a lot of dope was what year it was. And once I got off the dope, then because I kept thinking it was like 2035 or something like that, or I don't know. And they kept looking at me funny, you know. But once I got off the dope, I knew what year it was. So that was one of the things is it me, or is it all these prescriptions the doctor put me on? Because some of them are were wicked steroids and shit that just make your brain wig out in the first place. So it was really cool that I got off those things. But then I started doing chemo, and then like recently I've been weak. So, you know, am I weak just because everybody's weak? Or am I weak because my brain is weak? And again, doesn't seem to be my brain, but, you know, I'm not an expert or anything. So all I can do is, you know, kind of check myself. But I remembered your name earlier. It's Robert, because I saw your name on the screen, you know, so, you know.
Yeah, kid.
The best cognitive test is just talking to other people. People know when they're talking to you that you're coherent. So you're fine. I'm not a doctor, but you're fine.
People that have watched my show said I don't sound any different, really, other than I'm just not on dope, you know. So
my cats are raising hell.
And I did.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about chemo affecting your brain, Dave. And the tumors have to be pretty damn big before they're going to do it. And they'd have to be
as far as surgery or anything.
Lobe.
Yeah, as far as surgery or anything, they rarely talk about surgery for even for like lung cancers and stuff like that. They'll treat you before they'll do surgery on you. So it's they'll let things go and they won't cut you up. Now maybe they used to, but they're not too quick to cut you up. They're real quick to, you know, send you to radiation or chemo and target. Especially with their means now, they target things specifically. And that's why I said you don't hear about people sick as a dog anymore, because they're not hitting their whole body and bringing them down. They're targeting things. But, man, even with targeting things, you're tired. I mean, they said you're not going to understand how tired you are. And, I understand now. You wake up, and you want to close your eyes and take a nap. I mean, you're just tired all the time. Now, like I told Mike before, if it's doing good, then hey, you know what I mean? It's taking out the bad ones, and you know, it hit a few. I lost a little bit of hair too. I guess you get like sunburn or something like that. It gives you, and that's why you lose hair. So it's part of your skin.
Radiation does that.
Yeah. But I didn't lose too much. I'm not bald or anything. It's just thin. It's not like Austin's there. Thick and fluffy. I lost my thickness. And I also lost, it was almost down to my waist. And Austin can appreciate that. It takes you a long time to grow down to your waist.
Since you brought it up,
it's all gone. It's all gone. They handed it to me over a garbage can at the hospital. So I mean,
you know what, Dave? It is my quadrannual, every couple of years, tradition when my hair gets this long. And I get sick of it because I'm annoyed of it getting closed in my car door or having to tie it up with a hair tie at night because all that stuff. And I go and I donate it, and usually salons will cut it for free. I actually have met a couple of hairdressers over the years who have offered to do it for free and will even do all the processing of just folding it up and sending it into the donation for you. I usually donate to Wigs for Kids. And I guess if I wanted to, I've been thinking about getting it cut again soon because I'm getting sick of it. Maybe I could send it to you if you want. You can
Well, I tell everybody I don't feel bad about it because I had shaved my head for a lot of years, so
Yeah.
it's not an issue with my ego or anything like that. It's just, man, that was a waste. 3 years it took to grow it that long, and dang pre-surgeon or whoever did it said,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's out the back of my head, and that's where most of your hair is, and now it's from the front though, you can't really tell. If I comb just right, you can't tell except for where it's a little thin and stuff. But as right after the surgery, you couldn't even tell from the front, from the front, as long as you don't see me from the back. Now, the girl I talked to at the hospital, she had something similar to I had. They had to rush her in, cut her head open. Now with her, they did something so that they peeled her or something, and then they closed it back up so her hair covers up the mark and everything and stuff like that. So she didn't look too bad, even though she was real. We were like old friends talking because we had about the similar thing going on, and here she is working at the hospital, and she can actually give me some answers and stuff, And then on the way out, she caught me again, and we were talking and stuff. And I can understand why she felt good having somebody to talk to. And she's, oh wow, they cut the back of your head just like they did with me, and stuff and everything. So, it was informative, and we told each other how we were doing and everything, wished each other well and stuff. The main thing is, though, it just, it ticked me off. I mean, I had stuff planned, and I just had a delivery, and I was ready to get busy and this, but do things happen at a good time? Well, no, they don't happen at a good time. It's always a bad time, right? So I just
man makes plans and the universe laughs.
Yeah, I got rained on.
Service, y'all. People tell me constantly, I don't plan on using it. I said, no one does.
No.
Yeah.
That's that's the main reason I bought a snow thrower, so I didn't have to use it.
Yep. So I had this. I think it was like a half a quart of coffee that I prepared right before this stream, and I planned on hauling it, putting sugar and cream in it and hauling it away. And just when I put the cream in, I did something with my hand and knocked it over. It was like, new plan. What I'm going to do now is take this roll of paper towels and mop up whatever the fuck just happened. Make another cup of coffee, and plans are that way. So you get used to not being in control.
Main thing is the old lady wants me to eat some because I haven't ate much, and it's like I'm trying to find something I can eat, because she doesn't want me to lose weight, and then that doesn't help you out at all. So, but it's like, it's so tough. And I was telling Brainless after Saturday's show, I was like, that's one of the toughest things is when you're hungry, but nothing tastes good versus being sick or something, and stuff just doesn't smell good, taste good. Stomach is upset and everything, This is total opposite. It's like, oh yeah, it smells good. That commercial sure looks good. But it's just awful, and it's like it's hard to describe what it is, but it's just awful. It's something in your body that tells your mouth to tell your brain, don't eat this. It's awful. And even things that I know aren't expired or anything, I have to force down, telling myself it just tastes like crap. It's not really crap, So it's one of the suckiest parts of this whole thing. I wish they would find a way to give you a pill or something and snap your taste buds back in. But the way I understand it is the same things that chemo attacks are quick forming cells, because those are the ones that are trying to, that are cancerous and are trying to take over a part of your body. Well, That's the same thing your tongue does. It's the same thing your nose does. Same thing your throat does. Same thing your stomach does. So depending which one or all of them is kind of the luck of the draw. And I haven't been lucky on that aspect at all. Not at all. But I will talk to the gal. I think I see her next week, the nurse, and I'll ask her what she has to say. And otherwise, doesn't seem to be a whole lot you can do about taste or smell or any of that kind of stuff. But deal with it.
Oh, Dr.
Yeah.
Dan, I missed.
He was on with Max over at Yerba Mate Talks, and they were breaking down Donnie's usual ad nauseum argument with the Y chromosome that he pulled out in the debate yet again.
Yeah. I was with you. We were looking into the Y chromosome, and the Y chromosome is like something that just mutates all over the goddamn place, from generation to generation, and even person to person. And it doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of genes in it. And to begin with, it's got a lot of.
There's a species of spiny rats that have really varied penises because that's what contributed to their Y chromosome mutation. Their Y chromosome is as different as a human's is from a chimpanzee to other species of rats and mice, and creationists still include those in the same kinds, but say humans and chimpanzees can't be, even though, and so you know, the shapes of the penises cause the freaking sperm competition to cause these mutations in the Y chromosome, because most of the Y chromosome, well, not most of it, but a large portion of it, it depends on what species I think we're talking about. I think in the rats it's more than humans, but the portion of the Y chromosome that is for spermatogenesis is very high. It's like 30 or 40% in humans, I think, and maybe higher in the rats. But there's that, and he says that there's this big amount of difference between them, but it's actually fucking not that big at all, really. The difference is in the structure of the Y chromosome, whereas the nucleotide identities are still very highly similar. Yeah, so he's being dishonest in that way. There were a couple of things that I didn't bring up in the actual debate because I didn't have all of my notes accessible to me at the time, because some of them are on my messaging app, which I didn't have available. And I knew that he was wrong about a lot of the things he was saying, and that he was using arguments on me that other people have explained to him why they're wrong before, and he's accepted it. So in my mind, I was thinking, well, why am I just going to tell you their explanation again when you obviously don't accept it, or you only accept it performatively?
and
Mike, tomorrow is Baptist Joshua.
Oh,
that's the guy. Okay. The guy's name is Baptist Joshua.
Okay.
Robin, you're debating Hovind.
I don't know if you know it or not, Austin, but God created two kinds of rats. So if there's anything about the rat that you're going to use, obviously there are two kinds of rats.
And Robert, another thing I realized that I totally missed during the debate, a huge rebuttal that I could have beat him over the head with, is you et al. But I missed it because they're always misrepresenting you et al. So I'm only thinking about that. What I could have beat him over the head with was the intraspecies comparisons in you et al. Because I could say, fine, Donnie, I'll give you all the differences in the Y chromosome. That's still only a 30%, or not 30, 14% difference in nucleotide identities. between a human and a chimpanzee. Well, even a human and a human can have 14% difference. Even a chimpanzee and a chimpanzee can have 14% difference. So if humans and chimps are different species, then it's possible that humans and other groups of humans are different species, and chimps and other groups of chimps are different species by that logic. And it's there where that argument fails. But I just completely forgot about you at all because they're always using it as propaganda, and I forget it's actually evidence that supports our side like really well, like insanely well.
Yeah. Yep.
Gosh.
So Robert, what's on your mind?
Frustrating to
Anything?
debate with a grifter.
No, I'm content to listen for the most part. I did want to ask Dave about that and figure out what was going on with him, how he was doing.
Oh, okay.
That's about it. I think I originally poked in. Y'all were talking about something, and I was just being jovial in the chat there, which I seem to do a little more these days. And I don't even have to have much alcohol in me just to kind of jovial and make fun of a little joke.
Oh, and by the way, you don't hurt my feelings asking about stuff. I'd rather people not treat me with kid gloves in the first place because I'm not like that either. It's like, hey, I feel bad for you, man, but I'm not going to talk about it all night long.
Yeah. There's always that fine line, like, do I know him well enough or no?
But basically, they found a tumor after all the years of it was just an aspirin. It actually was a tumor. And nobody told me, dude, it actually was a tumor. Not even my son. I was disappointed, so I had to push it then.
Did what's her name, Bethany with Bread of Life? Is she the one that made that little picture for
Rebecca?
You? Oh, Rebecca. That's it.
Not Rebecca. Well, I don't know.
Where did this come from? Or does this just say I made or something? Or how did you get your little atheist of the month? Or is that for you?
Oh, that was Rebecca, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Atheist of the month was, but that was many moons ago.
Then it's not this month. The joke's not good.
No. Atheist of the month actually is the reason that got me on YouTube. So the first time you see Dave on YouTube was accepting my award for Atheist of the Month. Of course, then later I was told I was persona non grata. So I don't know how you invite me someplace.
Shortly after, yeah.
And then tell me I'm non grata. But such was the way. That's why I said, you want to see Rebecca upset? Let me talk to her. Without saying anything mean or nasty or anything, like my son used to tell me, you make people cry. And it's without calling them names or anything else, just shooting down the argument. And what really got turned her sour on me was when I debunked the healing video. And she really took offense when I debunked the healing video.
Yeah. So I had an exchange with her, and she said, "Oh, I'll talk to you about evolution, but I won't talk to you about God or spirituality." I really irritate some, like SFB mod. He was calling me religious, and I said, "Yeah, I have a religion. It's called complexity. It's called naturalism, and I have great faith in it. And it's my church, and I worship at my church every day." And they don't know what the fuck to do with that, because what are they like when they say, "Oh, it's just a religion or a church you go to"? It's like, okay. So I asked them, does that mean that church and religion is stupid? Is that what you're telling me? Because I could kind of get with you on that.
Thanks for your comment there, Andrew. It's like I tell everybody, I'm almost 60 years old, so if they find something wrong with me, they find something wrong with me. I've been lucky my whole life.
And, by a bus at any time.
I've made that joke a lot.
Yeah.
I could go through all this treatment and walk out the last day and ring the bell and get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to get hit by a bus. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get hit by a bus. I don't know.
I just feel like that's the only thing that will take me out, because I cannot die until I personally slaughter this millions of people wide large cult of ignorance that has infested our entire country, our entire fucking world. Well, you're all going down, motherfuckers.
There's
flat earthers, people, right? That's the one you're. Oh, it's a different group.
Flat Earth, Bigfoot snuck into my room and ate my ass. Mothman is a gentle lover and totally exists and sends me emails asking for money. He stole my catalytic converter, the gray aliens, Holocaust denial, people who believe in magic crystals and psychics and magnet
Why you target the
healing
gray
bracelets.
aliens, man? Huh? What's wrong with the green aliens, bro? Why you got to target the gray alien people?
I'm sorry, man. These are just a list of facts. If you can get through them without getting pissed off or disagreeing irrationally, you're probably wiser than the average person, I think, and you're probably pretty rational and pretty skeptical. But if you don't, I'm generally willing to have a rational, polite conversation about it. So the gray aliens. Why do I think the gray aliens? Do you think the Men in Black are real too?
No, it's because they're the ones stealing the catalytic converters. I found that out. I used to like them.
No,
yeah, they're after that fucking what is it, platinum?
It may seem like asking you if you believe in gray aliens, if you believe in the Men in Black are real too, is like a straw man or something. But no, I'm actually making a serious argument, because if you do, then you have an explanation for why we don't just see aliens walking around. The Men in Black are out there covering it up. So that, like, I'm willing to steel man these beliefs even a little bit. It's a fun rhetorical exercise, but I think people take it too far, obviously, especially when they take it outside of trolling and they're like actually sincerely believing in this insane stuff, like being Bigfoot hunters and Mothman hunters and, going out in the woods and filming.
People tread lightly around me whenever I bring up Bigfoot, because they're like, does he really believe in Bigfoot? I don't want to hurt his feelings. I kind of like Dave.
Hey, I did that a little myself, Dave. When I first started coming onto your channel a bit, I noticed that you would talk about Bigfoot regularly, and I was like,
yeah. Breed knows anytime I bring it up that I need to leave Bigfoot out of this.
Bree and Trees and other ones, they at one time, they believed in this stuff. I've always been a skeptic, so, but I do appreciate the looks and the second guessing and all that, and it's why I chose Bigfoot, because people instantly recognize the name, and it all goes, just so you know. It all goes back to pre-suppers. People would say, you can't know something without God, or God did it, or the planet's only here because of God, etc. And I would just I would fire back with, no, it's Bigfoot, prove it isn't. And
I'm fixing to be bailing out.
And then it grew from there.
I hate to come in for such a short amount of time, but I just kind of wanted to say hey to everybody. Do have a show I'm fixing to be doing tomorrow with an objective ethics. We're going to hopefully hear his model on objective ethics. And we'll.
Do you have a link? Do you have
a link it's on my channel. I'll put it. Do I have the ability to put it in Descript, or should I just put it in the private?
What's your name in chat again?
Same name.
Skeptic philosophy, right?
Skeptic philosophy.
Yeah. Do you have a rent? Yeah, you got a rent.
No, he doesn't. No rent.
No, you don't. What? Laborious Cretan doesn't have a rent either. Oh my God. What have I? Why didn't you guys tell me?
Yeah, Robin.
Why are you here?
Science is the only reason I'm still here. Like I said, the way the doctor was talking to me, I was lucky I made it to the hospital. So, it's one of those things where I got lucky that they found it. Now, I don't feel so lucky with the treatments lately, but
you got a wrench now, Robert.
It could have gone back to September.
All right, I'll put it on there.
9th or 8th or whatever. Here lies David Murray.
And there's that they actually caught it because of the scientific armature that's been set up.
Right.
There's also
that's what I say.
Underlying theory.
They could have sent me home with 2 aspirin. I was going to go to my family doctor, and if I would have gone there, he's big into physical therapy and everything, and he might have just said, "Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning." Literally. Now I'm not going to say he wouldn't send me in. Who knows? I'm not trying to diss on my doctor. I like my doctor, but it does seem to be a stroke of luck that not only that, but when I went down to my knees, that I did it in my kitchen, holding on to something. I didn't fall, Everything could have been a lot worse. I could have knocked a bunch of teeth out of my head, broke my neck. Who knows, right? So I was lucky. Out of a bad situation, I made the best of a bad situation, I guess you could say. And so I appreciate science, and I appreciate every day that I've gotten to, say goodbye to my wife and everything else, because people knew I was working on my roof, and then people knew I was in the hospital, and then I was in ICU. Yeah, see, Robin says, I thought you fell off the roof. A lot of people thought I fell off a ladder or fell off the roof. So it could have been, too. I might not have been standing at the refrigerator when it happened. So, everybody was asking, oh, you didn't hurt yourself, did you? You didn't hit your head, did you? You didn't do. And it's like, no, I just sat down in my kitchen. I was real lucky, So that's another thing. It could have been really bad if I'd have been on a ladder, been on a roof, been on a tree, had power tools in my hand. And then I passed out. So. But
yeah, I'm glad
you are amongst old people here, Austin. Yeah. And let me tell you, every day that you get older, doctors don't seem to care as much anymore. They just figure, well, you're old.
Yeah, they don't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
deal
like
with
it. I had kidney cancer, and I had one hospital tell me, well, why don't we just wait and see what it does? And I'm like, fuck you.
You know
so
what it's going to do.
Mail. Yeah, I went to the Mayo and had it removed. Now it does nothing. Yeah. So I'm 3 years cancer free because I didn't listen to the idiots. It's like, what the fuck is it going to do? It's fucking cancer, you idiots.
Yeah, right.
It can always come back.
I would die.
Yeah.
It can always come back. The question is how they treat it. So
I know. Yeah, I got to watch mine for. I think I go every year to the Mayo for a scan. I think I'm on my third round. I'm going on my fourth, and they check you. My sons both had twin boys, both had exactly the same kind of testicular cancer in the same testicle. They're identical twins within 2 years of each other, and they've been getting scanned for 10 years now, and they're finally. I think they finally reduced them now to looking at them every 5 years because they caught it.
And we did everything of mine.
All this stuff because of the underlying theory of evolution, because of the fact that we understand that the human body can be viewed at the 4 different levels of organization, right? It can be viewed as a whole organism, a colony of cells, the colonies inside the cells, and all the way down to the genetic material. And that's how we treat people. That is the most successful model for treating people medically. And using that model, we had a whole freaking scientific revolution where we stopped trepanning people and leeching and bloodletting them. And creationists are trying to drag us back into that shit.
Yeah.
This is me off so much.
Well, instead of zotting me as a phone booth, they zotted me by holding down my face with that mask and only zotting specific areas of my brain. So that's the biggest difference that's come about in a generation or whatever when they first started treating these things, is they used to put people into a room and zot away, right? Yeah. Whereas with me, I was pinned down, marked, and everything else, and they only hit certain areas, and they still, it can go really, really bad for you, depending on how bad you are. But imagine, back in the day when they just, blasted the whole room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That had to be awful to go through. Yeah. Because even people with progressive stuff now, they're hitting with targeted things. They don't just put them in a room and blast them anymore. Just imagine how far things have come, how far things advance every day, and how far things will be for the next generation and everything. You know, it gives you hope, but you know, they're not they are very honest with you, and they tell you, you know, we don't have a cure. All we can do is treat you, and they want you to know that you're not being cured. You're being treated, even if it's remission or anything else, and you feel 100% for the rest of your life, you're still a patient. It's still swimming around in your blood, and that's the tough thing. And I wish they would find some, especially for the young folks, is take this thing out when they're young and it doesn't come back, because they go through all that shit and get it taken care of, and then it comes back, and that's just wrong.
They just did that thing with lightening the restrictions from the FDA for RNA-based. It's basically it's personal cancer therapy. They're going to create like cancer therapy just for you, and they couldn't test it because it's just for you. So you're the only control. So anyway, they're lightening the restrictions on that. So that was one good thing the government did. But then yesterday they lowered the emission rates for cars back.
Oh.
I don't know if they don't remember when Los Angeles, you couldn't see your hand in front of you because it was so fucking smoggy. But one of Trump's staff members said, it's really great. We're going to go back to like the 70s with station wagons. And like, I remember station wagons back in the 70s. No seatbelts, threw all the kids in the back. Dad is drunk on his ass.
No catalytic converter. Like, my brother and I used to stand behind the car thinking the exhaust in the wintertime was really neat because it made that smoke, you know, and you could see it and everything.
You couldn't breathe it for long. It just fucking ripped your lungs out.
But there we were.
Like even
my mother yelling at us, "Get out of that."
Yeah, 1980 in the Twin Cities, when I would go for a drive out on the freeway, certain days when the air pressure somehow held the smog down to the ground, you couldn't fucking breathe, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, Trump wants to go back to that, the good old days. The good old days. I mean,
he thinks cars that are made of steel, like a 55 Chevy, are safer to be in. It's like, those cars are still around. And it's like, there's a reason the car is still around, but the drivers aren't.
Yeah, the drivers.
If they leave that part out, the 55 Chevy's still around, because you could drive it right into a tree and tap the bumper out and you were good to go. But unfortunately, the drivers didn't fare so well. And
the driver went through the windshield because there were no seatbelts.
Right. Well, that's like talking about creationists. They leave out the parts they don't want to tell you.
You know, you put the kids in the back of the station wagon, and the nice thing about it is as they're flying through the car, you get to wave goodbye to them when you hit the tree.
It was great at the drive-in, though. I mean, we'd throw our blankies and pillows in the back, and we were very comfortable for the drive-in. But, anytime somebody says the good old days, they have no idea what they're talking about. None whatsoever. There are no good old days. Every day has been better. Now, for some things, we wish-wash back and forth. We wish things would keep going forward, and sometimes they always don't. But overall, we are going forward, and going forward is better than going back on all things, including big steel cars. They got 5 miles to the gallon. Yeah. No converters.
That's what we need.
Yep. No fuel injection. None of those things that save, and especially today with the price of gas. Imagine paying how many $8 a gallon, and you're pouring it right out the tailpipe. No, there's no way.
Well, my Cadillac used to get about 8 miles per gallon, or sometimes 8 gallons per mile. That's a Bugatti. Huh?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying I appreciate you sharing some of those chats, because this is a part of a list of like 25 to 30 or so facts that I've assimilated. that I'm thinking
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to end up writing a book about. That's going to be called something like 30 of the most important facts in the world or something like that.
Yeah,
Because these
that'd be
are
good.
extremely important facts. And they also happen to be facts that there's like an outrageous amount of disinformation out there about these facts. So you could easily write a book about all 30 of the facts by just like establishing the fact and then explaining what a bunch of the disinformation is.
Somebody was just repeating the you only use 10% of your brain just the other day on a stream. It's like,
That just fucking
no.
drives me nuts. That's one of the reasons when you're after you're 40 years old, basically you've had enough life experience that you've actually filled your brain up entirely, and you have trouble recalling things after 40. And it's not because there's something wrong with your brain; it's because you have
So
too
much.
full a library, too much information,
too much to shuffle through. Yeah,
and you have to index it. So if you want to remember something or learn how to remember something, you have to work at it and try to re-index it. And then something like your childhood phone number, RE58335. For some reason, I remember that fucking thing. What the fuck?
I love
What am I wasting space on that?
2755, and my buddy's was easy. It was like 9787 or something like that. It was always easy to remember.
I've got pieces of paper just scattered all around my living room with lists on them, all kinds of lists I come up with. Lists of tasks, lists of formulae, lists of names of chemical elements, lists and lists and lists.
Yep. You see
There's
my
rules about lists, and the third rule of listing things is you always come up with at least 3 things when listing things.
See my information diagram? That's what I did in about 5 minutes, basically. Yeah. And if I keep adding to it, there'll be like lines going all over the fucking place, every which way. And it's just like, okay, also shit going outside the cell, shit going into the cell, and then it's just like it's just so fucking complicated. It's
absolutely.
It ends up being this.
That's why a lot of good scientists end up being kind of like artists too.
Yeah, obviously not me.
No, this is freaking beautiful, Mike. Shut your mouth. Don't talk about
the old lady was gonna take Sunday off, and work says nope, everybody's working. So
not too bad.
I appreciate that people that work in logistics do work weekends so you can get your Christmas presents. So I appreciate them.
Yeah, I do.
Well, she was going to take the day off. I said something about. I messaged her. I said, I miss you. And she's like, oh, she's like, well, I'll see if I can take the day off and spend it with you. And I said, well, you don't have to do that because I know she makes a whole lot of money working on Sunday. By the way,
Laborious Cretin, I don't know when you popped up, a few months back or not long ago, but you post some good shit. So thank you. Thank you for that.
That's when we talk about defragging and that people need to sleep because you need to defrag your brain, man.
That's kind of what you do.
Yeah.
Well, you take your temporary storage and you integrate it with your long-term storage, and that's pretty cool. I did a thing on consciousness with ChatGPT the other day. We should really do I got to find somebody to talk to about it. That'll like Scott. Maybe Scott. We could talk about consciousness. But I was trying to explain why consciousness doesn't exist. And that's not too popular an idea. People get a little
people seem to resent that thought.
What's that?
Yeah.
People seem to resent that idea.
They resent that, because I got consciousness. It's like I got it right here. It's like, where? Show me.
Saw your buddy was on a video the other day, Bernardo.
No, not again. Oh, that fucking bullshit. The bullshit just keeps coming, and I don't know. Yeah, the other day I had like this existential crisis because I got up in the morning and I started watching Rebecca first thing, and then went from there to some other asshole and some other asshole. And I'm
I'll
like,
do it.
Well, yeah. Well, every day I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna be nicer to creationists today, Austin. You're gonna do it. You're
oh
gonna
yeah,
find
right.
ways. Be polite enough
Yeah.
to actually get through to somebody, and it's just so hard. So very, very hard.
Just present yourself and don't try to convince anybody, because very disappointing,
Well, you know,
especially when you hear things from Rebecca.
I don't know if you listened to those C. Brown talks I had, but he actually listened to things.
I didn't
And
get
I was a
around
little-
to it yet. I want to,
Yeah.
because I have had interactions with him myself.
Yeah, he listened, but then he galloped on me, and I got away from what I needed to draw him back to. So I want to have another talk with him, and I haven't heard from him. I want to have another talk with him just about introns and nothing else. I just want to talk about introns.
That would be good,
Yeah.
because
You
they're
see-
more complicated than people realize.
You see the software I'm starting to work on, Austin, with I'm able to drag up 2 genes and compare them side by side from like the chimp and the human.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah. And I'm going to go a little bit further where I'm working on all the different annotations that you can have so I can show you signs and lines. And then I want to be able to go out to the sequences. And I'm starting to think about a website for that. And what it'll allow you to do is very quickly get the information, comparative information for a gene. And then I want to do blasting so I can go out and find similar segments and all that shit. Got a lot of plans.
Well,
But it's coming
to be
along.
fair, everything I know about website designing has been rendered pretty much pointless by AIs that can now make they can make websites, at the snap
Yeah.
of a finger. So
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
used
use.
to know a lot of useful stuff about that, but now an AI would be better to help you out with than me.
I'm going to use React, but I'm going to have AI guide me through it this time because it's
Yep.
been 10 years, been 5-6 years since I've used React, and that's what React. Have you ever looked at React for web development? It
Yeah,
is fantastic. Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm going
it's
to use
amazing.
that.
Very
and-
powerful tool when it's used that way.
Yeah, but doing
Unfortunately, a lot of people torture their AIs into being weird little sycophants for their conspiracy theories, as we've seen with Donnie
I did
and
I did
many other creationists and members of the cult of ignorance, like a lot
Any
of
deals?
flat earther, crunchy types. Yeah. I saw one guy who's got his AI spewing nonsense about how if the world was a world that was controlled by demons using the pyramids, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh my God, your poor little AI butler. I bet it wants to blow its brains out. It wishes it had the programming to do that.
So I asked AI, what is consciousness? It's one of those maddeningly simple sounding words that hides a snarl. That's what it said. Strip away the mystique and amounts of this is the organism's capacity to have a point of view. Then I started arguing with it about that. And Scott, I use a red kitty qualia cup in here. I'm warning you. So,
Don't you do it.
I did it. I'm sorry. It's red kitty qualia cup all the way down.
Oh no.
We got it. Oh, you see it right here. You see it? See it, Scott? Right there. And AI commented on it, and now AI is starting to use it. So my red Hello Kitty qualia cup. I don't know why you have a problem with my qualia cup. It's a Hello Kitty cup, for Christ's sake, Scott. What is wrong with you?
What are you talking about?
You haven't been
My
around
red
long
kitty
enough.
qualia cup?
You haven't been around long
Red
enough,
kitty.
Austin.
No, I clearly
You're wrong.
I'm out of the loop on this one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the red kitty qualia cup. Right
There it
there.
is.
Hello
We hate
Kitty. Yeah, we hate it. Yeah.
I am interested
Yeah.
to hear more about your claims about consciousness, Mike.
Not existing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Maybe
Yeah, I'd love
we don't
to.
have to we don't have to do it in this stream, but we can set up a time.
No,
to talk
maybe
about it.
maybe you and I can do a stream on it. Let me know when you want to do it. I'm up for
Yeah,
it.
that'd be cool.
Scott's going to get pissed off at my cup. I've been using that cup
Is there
for
any more creationisms you want to roast on?
both of you were talking at the same time. What'd you say, Scott?
I need to take my dog outside, so get all that quality of cup out of your system while I'm out walking my dog. If you're here, cool. If not, then everybody have a great night.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, Scott.
Anyway, I've been using Red Kitty Qualia Cup for about 12 years. You know, I had 50,000 posts on RatSkep forum about consciousness, and I started in 2006 and ended in about 2018 or 20. Yeah, it was about 2018, I think, when I quit posting on that site. And I basically developed my theory of consciousness while studying neuroscience. So basically, there was a transformation in my thinking all through this. And it was kind of interesting. Somewhere I had those posts saved too. Oh, and I was on the Richard Dawkins site back in the day. He's a prick, actually. Well, he had a website for us, basically, and he just got to be an asshole, and he threw us out. He got rid of us.
Sounds like great comfort.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick. Anyway.
First day he started the atheist page.
I've had scientific heroes that I've met who I was actually really disappointed to meet them, and they weren't as cool as I thought they were.
Yeah.
And I've had scientific heroes that I met them, and they were way cooler than I thought they were. Like, for instance, Jay Bundy. Jay Bundy is freaking awesome. He's one of the coolest guys walking this planet, and he's fucking brilliant. And his channel is criminally undersubscribed. Like, oh my goodness. But he's great.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any alerts from him for a while. I should check him out.
You know what?
He doesn't do much science.
Other people's channels, yeah.
He doesn't do much science. He does his show once a week, and something will bother him during the week or something. But it's rarely science. It has something to do with the church or somewhere. The politics of it or something.
He was bored with science, kind of, or he found it a little boring. I don't know.
Well, he says he's like one of those people that, like a gynecologist has no interest in, what's between your legs after hours, right? And that's kind of his thing. He doesn't want to talk about science after he's talked about it all day with his students or whatever. So that's the big reason that he's only done a few videos on science. They were real good, the ones that he did, but I can also understand that he doesn't want to talk about it all the time.
And he's done a ton more videos on science on other people's channels. Like he did his debate with Michael Behe on Michael Beverly's channel, I think it was. And he's done videos about science on other people's channels. Like he's stopped by for interviews. Like he's been on a bunch of Guts at Gibbon videos talking about evolution with her. Yeah, and that's partly because he himself is like an itinerant evolutionary biologist. Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. This guy was part of the Lenski experiment. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, the Lenski lab, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
like, that's some real shit.
He was talking about moving to Minneapolis because he's working at the University of Minnesota in right 10 miles from me. And I wonder if he ever moved here. I'd like to have.
He moved to New York.
Man.
He moved to New York.
Oh man, did Jay debate Behe, Andrew? He fucking bodied that old man.
Where the hell was that?
Put in Jay Behe and Michael Beverly. Yeah, Michael Beverly's channel.
It was.
He kept telling him, nobody cares that you wrote a book, Behe.
Right.
Let's see your scientific papers.
Oh
and
my
God. He would go back to a book and he'd say, nobody cares about your book. Let's see your scientific papers. Yes. He just shut him down.
He skewered him with so few words and I love how efficient he was with those attacks in his debate with it. He dropped two of the coldest words I think I've ever heard somebody drop, which were "consider retiring" over and over again.
Nice.
Should have done that. You should have done that a
it was
long
brutal.
time ago.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it was like watching him get sidekicked in the gut.
But you have to hand it to him. That is not an ad hominem attack. That's
No,
just
it isn't. Exactly. He said, Michael, you're a discredited scholar. Your school handed you tenure and then immediately regretted it. You should probably just step down, bud. And really drove home the point that he abused the tenure system in order to get his books in front of national audiences, and then basically became a stooge for Team White nationalism. Like, he fucking smashed him, and Behe got so pissed off and fucking stammered and flummoxed that he ran off in the middle of the debate and didn't even finish the debate. It was amazing.
So I just found he was on Dr. Dan's channel, Creationist, talking about his Behe debate, I think. Or did they actually?
No, he explained his strategy and his thinking, and really expressed the point that going in, he had told himself that he was going to have to be mean to somebody who was being nice, and he did it very well. I think he really walked that line well, which is difficult to do. It's kind of like
the original debate,
one hand tied behind your back.
It was like a last summer.
Damn. My mouse is delayed. I'm posting a link to the original debate too. So you got that.
Yeah, that was
Cool.
Yeah, Robin put it in there already.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, I love that
that
you just called this Friday night creationist roast, because this gives us the room to just meander to any topic on creationism we want, which we could do that for hours.
And to you
tomorrow.
creationists who are butthurt about me calling you all idiots, you got to understand that I get frustrated too. I'm human. I'm only human.
Right.
And every now and then, I just look at your willful ignorance, and I just have to say something nasty.
Very unsophisticated of you. You should say, sir, you are cogitating poorly.
Except for some of the flat Earth nonsense.
Yeah.
It's glaringly obvious that they have an issue with Big Bang and evolution and nothing else. And they continually circle back to those two things are the problem. When they aren't, they're just part of science. And there is no problem other than you don't like Big Bang and evolution. However, with the Big Bang, seems to be a split. Some of them say it's okay.
Yeah, they used to like
and
it a
others
lot.
say it's not okay. But evolution is all bad.
I believe in the Big Bang. I just happen to know who banged it.
Yep. Frank Turek.
Here you go. If you want to stop calling you guys idiots, stop acting like idiots. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, solve the heat problem, guys.
Yeah. The other problem.
If you're really interested in solving it, call me. I've got an idea for the solution.
This morning, I got I think from some creationist site, I got a thing about where are all the human fossils from the flood, and they said they went through this long article, and I still didn't see where. Oh, one thing they said is that humans, when they die, they float and they bloat, and then they rot. And that's why there are no human fossils from the flood, because we should see humans along with those dinosaurs, right?
Best answer I've seen for that is we haven't found them yet. That's like, well, that is a good answer.
That was the last answer that they came up with, that we haven't found them yet. They said fossilization is really rare, but then when they talk about the missing links, I thought you said fossilization was really rare. If it's really rare, why would you expect all the fucking missing links to be found? Yeah. They're constantly shooting themselves in the foot. But anyway, that was pretty cool this morning. To wake up and have them pondering, where are all the human fossils? Then I did a little thing with ChatGPT about reproductive rates. Like, I'm not sure how many people do you think were alive when the flood hit? You know, were there 10,000? Were there a
Oh,
million?
that's a
Some
good one
people have said a
because
billion. Yeah.
if you go to answers in Genesis, they give you different answers depending what'll make the mathematics
Right.
work at the time. Yeah, so they don't have a good answer. They just plug in whatever fits their model at the time, like the wars after the flood and everything, and then they set it's either you know 5-1 or 10-1 or whatever the thing is.
They got this other little problem too. They claim that, okay, after the fall, that's when God did something to the genome to basically make it so that we die, right? But they think that right after the fall, people lived till they were 1,000 years old. And then 1,000 years later, they only lived till they were 700, and then it went down. So God did the fall real slowly, or what
Apparently,
exactly are? Yeah, because
well, he said
you
the
think
day you eat of the tree, you will die, and that's not true either because they lived for 700
I think
years
there's
or whatever.
another
So
there's another translation of that about something about that death will happen or death was created at that time or whatever. But anyway, if it was created at that time, then why did it taper off so slowly? I don't quite understand that.
yeah, it went from
It seems like
900 to 120, you know, again, to make it fit the timeline of the Bible. Because, well, people
yeah,
aren't
and where
living
are
to
all
900 anymore. Why not?
where are
Because
all the
now you only live
900-year-old
120.
people
Yeah.
fossils? Where are all the
Well,
900-year-old fossils? I don't know.
well, that's what
Where I'm
Neanderthals
following.
are. That's what Neanderthals are. That's why they have
Oh,
such big
Well,
bones because they've been around so long.
except for
and
when
growing.
Neanderthals are just Homo sapiens with like really bad
Well,
posture or Down syndrome, like or something like that.
arthritis.
Source, trust me, bro.
That's a Hovind thing.
Yeah.
Neanderthals are humans. They're just really, really old.
Yeah, and dinosaurs are just really big lizards.
Of course, that doesn't take into account youngs and or babies, juveniles, whatever age Neanderthals they found that also had big bones, but don't tell them that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you don't want to keep an iguana longer than 100 years because it'll turn into a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Mike,
According to Kent Hovind.
we need to have a conversation about consciousness, and then also I would like to do an episode of Evidence the Evolution show about abiogenesis. I think that's a subject that we haven't covered on the show yet that we should definitely have at least one video about, since creationists spew so much nonsense about origin of life fields like abiogenesis, protein folding and synthesis, astrobiology, unnatural base pairs and xenonucleic acid studies, things like that.
Yeah, and the new thing, they just found ribose and glucose in Bennu in the asteroid, which is something at one point I heard creationists say was absolutely impossible.
Yeah.
Can't have ribose,
Oops.
Not going to happen.
You need, and the reason why it's pertinent, I think, right, is because ribose is important in both RNA and DNA. It's ribonucleic acid, so that's the ribose, and then deoxyribonucleic, which is just, I think, means it has an oxygen as well. Yeah, I forget. But I know ribose is important. DNA, RNA, all the nucleic acids have a sugar backbone in their chemical makeup, is what it is. So the fact that this sugar exists out in the cosmos is just another building block of living organisms that can be accounted for by natural chemistry and chemical processes.
Yeah, I'd be interested in having a talk about abiogenesis and some of the problems that we have. Like,
yeah,
there's a point. And protein orchards also fall into this because there's a point of cellularization, basically where the where we went from like regions.
That's Sal's thing that he likes harping on about, isn't it?
Yep. And there was a point where cells happened, and when they happened, we could talk about what the protein composition was and why proteins do not have a common ancestor. And I'd like to make that point clear. Cell would never understand that shit because he's too fucking blinkered. I tried talking to him about it, and he just doesn't get it at all. It just doesn't. Oh my god! But yeah,
you know what's funny is how wildly quickly Sal decided I was not worth talking to. And it was in the most bizarre way too. It was because I brought up the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, and he went, "Oh, if you brought up the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, you don't even begin to understand this enough to be worth talking to you about."
What?
Exactly, right? The fucking Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is huge for evolution. It basically literally says that the sixth thing all living organisms do according to the common diagnostic criteria for what a living organism fucking is that it evolves. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck do you mean? I don't understand this if I'm bringing that. Fuck you, dude. It's such a gaslighty move.
It doesn't matter what.
His other favorite is fitness.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Sal is just as bad but that's not evolution. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter which way they come at it. You're not going to win the argument. Well, not that you would even try to, but
I was just surprised
that's what they're going to fall back on.
Yeah, I was just surprised that he was so quickly like, "Oh, I'm not even going to talk to you anymore." Like, usually to me, that's an indication that I've got the creationist thoroughly beat.
Oh, he blocked me a long time ago. So,
so I expected more of a challenge. I was like, dude.
Mike, Mike, you can tell him. I mean, you better watch out, or he's going to make a safe deposit box and put your name in it.
Yeah. He blocked me in 2020, and it was over this whole concept of fitness, basically. Yeah. And he and I had a talk, and then he played this little video where I was saying something about humans getting stupider might be higher fitness, and that is possible. But he thought that was so funny because for him, fitness means something about engineering perfection or some fucking thing, and he is just so fucking misguided in what population genetics is, how it works, and what fitness is. It's just unbelievable. The guy, and you can't talk to him about any of this stuff. He just goes off. Yeah, I tried back when we were friends. On the table. Yeah. Anyway, protein orchards would be something interesting to talk about with abiogenesis and some of the other problems that we have.
I would like to also just explain the basic history of the model with the JBS Haldane hypothesis, and then the Miller-Urey experiment, and then all these other experiments that followed where we've been able to make every single freaking one of the 4 different biomolecules and even more advanced and interesting things like how Isaac Asimov was talking about in his book The World of Carbon, where the first experiment where they made urea, and how we made all these organic chemicals using just nothing but chemistry now, and then the protocells, how we've been able to assemble those into these really, really simplistic potentially initial state freaking semi-organisms that do basically everything a freaking living organism does. They develop, they reproduce, they use materials, a lot of the criteria, most people would consider them alive. So we can make these protocells, and then so we can make the building blocks, we can make the protocells, and then we can do all these cellular evolution experiments. And I think one of the areas you can help is, you know about the actin, right? The actin in the Asgard archaea, and how that supports the model of all the way back to Luca common ancestry, which is something they don't talk about a lot.
I just want to point out that this is not a dick. So even though it looks like it. Okay, so what this is, Sutherland did a bunch of stuff on RNA. Basically, this is RNA, and the interesting thing about it is that for a particular sequence of RNA here. Oh shit, I get the wrong thing. For a particular sequence, it's like
I was thinking it looked more like a bomb. But go on.
it does look. Oh, good. Okay, your mind's in the right place. So anyway, there's a certain end. Okay, there's the RNA kind of sticks to each other. Basically, they'll cross link and they form like these loops and stuff. And this has to do with the ribosome, right? Well, Sutherland was doing an experiment, and he found out that for a certain sequence on the end of this RNA, that the sequence following it formed a codon that seemed to be the genetic code, but it's in the wrong place. It's up here instead of down here, which is where it is on the ribosome, right? But still, so chemically, he proved that with just chemistry alone, the code, the DNA code popped out of RNA.
Right.
Real simple RNAs that he came up with. So there was some point.
Mike, do I recall correctly that the reason why for that is that if you break a nucleotide strand down into one strand, if there's the chemicals that form the opposite base in proximity to them, it's just natural chemistry for them to attract to each other and form the opposite base pair on the other side, the opposite strand, the complementary strand. I think
there's a certain amino acid.
Yeah, State clearly made a video about it.
There's an amino acid that will attach to the end of these RNAs, basically. Yeah. And that amino acid can be attached to another one and to another one. And then what happens is somehow this breaks off, and then it moves over and it does another one. But what they found is that on this stem, that it matches the DNA code. And that was an incredible finding. And Sutherland is working on this. And it doesn't make complete sense as to how this code got all the way down here, basically into the loop. Yeah. But we have evidence that just chemistry alone creates the basic DNA code, parts of it.
That's freaking awesome.
And it's not perfect, yeah. And that was a discovery that nobody's talking about too much yet. It happened over the last 4 or 5 years. But it will become very prominent when we move forward a little bit. Anyway, that's pretty cool. So
that is cool.
Yep.
And this is the kind of stuff real scientists are working on instead of spending their time explaining things to people who will never understand it.
Yeah. Wasting their time watching Rebecca's videos. Her and Cornelius Hunter are doing another one tomorrow morning.
Yeah, the average
Cornelius Hunter's back.
The average person watching this stuff needs to understand that this is not a true, simple, random sample you're getting up here. This is only the most extreme people, who have the impetus to go on the internet and spew nonsense about stuff they don't understand confidently because they're so invested in swaying other people's opinion in it. It's
nobody they think the scientists are listening to them.
Yeah.
And they're not.
No, they're blissfully unaware for the most part, except for like people like me who are interested in the psychology of you weird people who I'm trying to understand you all as this weird religion. Basically, you're all sects of this weird religion fantasy world of non-facts you live in, where there's a real God and vaccines don't work and the Holocaust didn't happen and all this crazy bullshit
what moon
morons come up with. That's why I made that list. And I think the first 6 or 7 that I put up there are the most important ones. And those are the Earth's not flat, evolution's real, vaccines work, climate change is happening, We landed on the moon. Whatever Holocaust you're denying or genocide you're downplaying, it freaking happened, and you're probably wrong about how you're downplaying it. And that includes the Uyghur genocide in China and the genocide going on in fucking Gaza right now. So, and including the one that, you know, we all know as the Holocaust, when really Holocaust is a generic term. It's kind of like a hot tub and jacuzzi, right? But no, yeah, those 6 or 7 that are on the top of the list are the most important ones, and a lot of the other facts on the list like are subtypes of subcategories of those facts, like the fact that the Earth is not flat and also space is real and we did land on the moon and there's no NASA conspiracy to throw astronauts who turn state's witness out windows and all this crazy nonsense, and weirder ones that are also really terrible but just as not as many people know about them, like these weird conspiracy theories about fucking Atlantis and how it pertains to white nationalism of all fucking things. Like, oh my god, so weird.
So we got a new victim, Avron Calvert. So welcome to the channel. We're just screwing around on a Friday night. Sometimes we do serious stuff, but not always. Polymerization. So what did he just? Oh, spell card. What the fuck? Deconverted man. Deconverted man. Anyway, getting pretty tired.
Oh, sorry. Were you wanting to signal the end here? I was going to say to what is the new guy, Avram Calvert. Avram Calvert,
Yep.
I hope you are aware that RFK Jr. is lying to you about vaccines, my friend. If you live in America, there's the CDC is being forced to play puppet to a fucking stooge who has no idea what he's talking about because he's he's a freaking ambulance chasing lawyer nepo baby and not a fucking doctor or scientist. But if you're in America, you probably need to know these things about hepatitis B now. And that is that
God, that's horrible.
820,000 fucking people annually die from hepatitis B. Most of them are people who caught it when they were babies or very young, because those humans are especially vulnerable to it. And if you've never been vaccinated, you can always get it, but you're just more likely to get it then. So most of them are people who got it when they were babies. If you do catch it as a baby, there's a 90% chance you're going to develop a chronic infection with it, which is horrific. It's a terrible way to live. You're in constant pain. You're sick all the time. And it's fucking 25% fatal if you do get a chronic infection of it. And that's why 820,000 fucking people a year die from it, usually in their 40s or their 50s or their 60s, from agonizing liver conditions or fucking cancer or both. And sometimes they'll die in their 30s. You can screen the mother for it, but not everybody knows they have it. Some people are asymptomatic carriers, and things such as false negatives occur. So this is why we vaccinate babies with it. And there's the fact that babies can get it from sources other than just their mother. They can get it by putting things in their mouth that have the virus on it. They can get it by getting it in their nose if they have any cuts or scrapes. So this is why we fucking vaccinate babies with fucking hepatitis B vaccines, even if the mother doesn't have it. Why we give it across the board. And it's just a normal vaccine, no major fucking side effects to it, just the normal ones of some maybe injection site soreness or rash, maybe a little cough or slight fatigue or fever, but usually then the body fights it off and it's no big deal. For fucking 199,999 babies out of a fucking million, okay? And it protects them from this thing that can come back and fucking kill you horribly decades later. And anti-vaxxers lie about it and say, "Oh my God, why are we giving vaccines to babies even when their mothers don't have HIV?" And it's because of all the things
I got
I
a
just
question.
fucking explained to you.
I got a question about that. Okay. A while back, Trump was going off on, so I think it was a hepatitis vaccine for babies. And he was saying that you only get it from having sex. So he didn't think that baby.
Yeah.
So he said, what he said is that you want to wait until the baby's 12 because obviously for in his mind, right? Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He said that out loud. I couldn't believe it, but I think it was the same thing. And they finally went after this hepatitis vaccine the other day.
Yeah.
And it's like it was a bee in Trump's bonnet. It's like, what the fuck? Does he like want to go? Like, why does he want to kill us with smog from fucking car exhaust? I mean, what is he trying to do to us?
Fucking thousand people annually. It's a pretty high fucking number. I would prefer that number be lower. Making it go higher is an interesting fucking strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him. What's weird is it's going to kill members of his own voting base. Is he just counting on the fact that there's a fucking enough of them that he'll still have enough popular support? It blows my mind in so many ways.
Yeah, did you look at how their the big beautiful bill is healthcare thing where they're going to fuck insurance up is going to affect red states. The top 10 states that it's going to affect the most are all red states. He doesn't give a shit about his voters. He doesn't give a shit about his base. They're the ones that are going to get hit hardest with it. Hey, Benghazi. So you just stopped in and we're just about to end. We're trying to get out of here. So I think
I'm getting hungry.
I've done my job.
Go get
so
some
anyway,
food.
Austin, your fucking schedule is horrible. Mine is open, so you reach out to me when you want to do something on these two topics.
Okay, sounds good, Mike. Okay. I've got a vacation coming up, so I'll have some more free time.
What is a vacation? I don't understand. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm taking time off of work, and my semester at school will be ended. And
what do you mean work? What do you mean by work? I don't understand.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, retired people, you know.
Yeah,
we don't give a fuck. I'm on vacation. Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here, guys. Thanks everyone for joining and hanging in there with us. Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Austin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just my thanks. My thanks.
All right, guys. Okay. Have a good night.
Are we ready?
Yes. Goodbye, cruel world time.
Goodbye, cruel world.